Afternoon, Ruben. I know you always talk about how much in contact you are with the leadership here, the likes of Sir Jim, Jason. Sir Jim had some really positive comments for you over the break, really backing you. How do you feel when you see those type of comments?
He tells me all the time, sometimes with a message after games. But I know, and Jim knows that football is not like that. So the most important thing is the next game. You cannot control, even with owners, you cannot control the next day in football. So I know that, but it's really good to hear that. Also because of the noise, but he tells me, and Omar and Jason tell me that all the time.
Samson?
In terms of your vision for this club, does it help when they say that? Because they've also said, or Omar said, that it didn't start the way that everybody expected, including you. And nobody knows how long it's going to take. Nobody knows what happens on Sunday. Does it help that you know that they believe in what you are trying to do?
First of all, I can feel it. It's not just that thing that people talk, but I feel it in every day. And again, sometimes the pressure that I put on the team, on myself, is so much bigger than them. I know that it's going to take a while, but I don't want to think like that. I said that last year. But of course, again, it's really good to hear that. I think it helps also our fans to understand that the leadership understands that it's going to take a while. But at the same moment, I don't like that, because we'll give a feeling that we have time to work things out. So I don't want that feeling here in our club. Again, the most important thing is the next game. It's good to feel the support, but we need to prove in football, and especially in big clubs, that in every weekend we are ready to win games.
Hi Ruben, this will be the 100th match at Anfield between Liverpool and Manchester United. It's a game with an awful lot of history. Your history, I think your first visit there as a player maybe could have been better, but your most recent was possibly one of your highlights here so far.
Yeah, I remember we play well. Was a draw. I was really upset in the end of the game. Because we prove in that day that we can compete against any opponent. I know that is special for our club. I know that they are fighting all the time for the titles, the number of titles. I know what it means to the fans. But again, is one game that we need to prove again that we are playing better. I think we are playing better. We need to do better in both boxes. So it's one more game that we need to win.
Okay.
Hi Ruben. The results and the performances against the so-called bigger teams have been quite good since you got here. What do you think the difference has been in those games compared to perhaps some of the other games? Maybe
I don't know, but maybe the expectations. When you have to win and the responsibility of winning, it's so much harder to play like that. That's why when you play in big clubs, you need to win every match, especially when people are expecting you to win. And we have some difficulties sometimes to deal with that. When people and you guys expect not Manchester United to win that game, maybe it's easier for the players to perform, and we need to change that. But to change that, we need to have confidence to win more games, to have more points, to feel more free to play the game. So I think that is the main reason.
Sorry.
Hi Ruben. I think there are 7 players who didn't train yesterday. Some of them were rested, had additional days off. But which players do you know won't be available for the weekend's game?
Licha is near, but it's almost returning to the trainings with the team. Masraoui, I don't know. The rest of the guys, the national team, they are ready. But if you saw the games, some players play in Japan, so we need to be careful to give more time. Diogo didn't play the last game he was here. Bruno played 62 minutes. We gave one more day. We try to balance everything to have everyone ready, but they are ready. The guys are returning from national teams. They are ready to play.
Pete and then Paul.
Hi Ruben. When your goalkeeper puts in a performance like that on debut, the United fans are calling him the new Peter Schmeichel after less than 90 minutes. Does that make him impossible to drop even for a big game like this?
No, it's possible. Nothing is impossible. You have to prove during the week, but of course he did a great job. It is possible that he is going to start the game. The first impression in this club is really important. To maintain the level is even more important and really difficult. So he's not Schmeichel yet. He's a young guy with talent. He shows a lot of composure, and the fans liked it. But again, we need to prove that is in the past. We need to prove in the next game.
Ruben, Sir Jim was quite critical of the academy in his interview last week. He said that standards had slipped. You've been here nearly a year now. What's your assessment of the health of the United academy?
I think we can always improve. I'm not the best guy because I'm here for a year and our results are not being so good. So I'm not going to be the guy that is going to say that the academy is not in a good shape. What I know is that, especially nowadays with the fair play, with the feeling of the club, the academy is really important. We need to take care of that. We need also to give the right conditions for all the people that we have here to do a better job, because sometimes it's not just you are doing a bad job, but we need to see what kind of conditions they have to do a great job. We are paying attention to that. We are bringing people. We are always in contact with Travis, with all the kids, trying to bring the right kids for the trainings, try to make that relationship with the academy. So I think if you look at our club, we are trying to improve. We have a lot to improve, not just in the academy, but in all aspects of our club.
Okay, last question in this section for Richard.
Hi Ruben, you talked earlier about how Liverpool and United are competing for the same number of titles, and the two clubs are always going to be compared with each other. I mean, when you sort of have a season like last season, when Liverpool finish so far ahead of United, I mean, how do you address that, and what becomes a realistic aim in terms of closing the gap to them?
That I don't know. Sometimes things change really fast, but if you see the history of both clubs, you can feel it that sometimes you have one club that is winning, the other club is having a bad moment. That happened with Liverpool when Manchester United was winning everything, and that happened with Manchester United when Liverpool was winning everything. So we just have to acknowledge that, to be really honest with the fans. But we can win any game. So if we think about just winning the next game, that is the most important thing. We can win the next game. If we are winning, if we are going to fight and to be at the same level of Liverpool in the future, that is the idea. I don't know how long it is going to take.
Okay, move on to the embargoed section, starting with Jamie.
Hi Ruben. United have basically won once in the last decade at Anfield as a Wayne Rooney goal, and before that was when Mata scored twice. And the fans still talk about these wins for the obvious reasons. So can you use that? Might you say that to your players? You've got a chance here to sort of really please our fans and break this sequence, or at least improve it.
I have so many things to use with our players, like winning back-to-back games, to have that momentum that can change completely. And I felt like the game against Chelsea when we won the week was so different. So we have a lot of things to use with the players. I think they don't remember that games. The football players nowadays, they don't watch many games. Unfortunately, so we have so much to use that is not the hardest part. We have so much to win if we perform, if we win the next game, that I don't need to use that games in the past. We just need to try to show them what that could bring for our future.
Anfield, obviously, in English we say can be a bit of a bear pit. The atmosphere there is quite, let's say, involved. Again, you're confident your players can sort of thrive and use that.
Yeah,
positive energy.
We showed last year, and I think the way we start the game is more important than the environment. The environment can change. Of course, they will win a corner, an opportunity. The environment is going to be loud, but we are ready to play with that. And if you looked last year, not this year, but last year, sometimes we play better in that kind of environment than the pressure at home. So we never know what is going to happen. It's really important to start the game well, to do a really good warm-up, to have a feeling, to understand that it's going to be tough in the first moments. So I know they are ready, but we need to prepare for the impact, especially for the beginning of the game.
Laurie and then Chris.
Hi, Ruben. A bit of a tangent just on what you said there. Do you really think players don't watch as many games now as they used to?
No, I think that is normal. Everything now is different with a lot of distractions. I think they don't watch a lot of games. You have guys from like Bruno. Bruno is watching his plays, the teammates, any play. He watch every game that is on TV. But then you have some guys that play really well. They want to do something different. That's okay.
And just on Senna, he was quite an important figure, I think, against Sunderland for the kind of more direct approach to kind of make sure that there's no pressure on the back line. Is that an approach you can use at Anfield, particularly with...
I think if you look at nowadays, every time the ball goes to the goalkeeper, most of the teams play man-to-man. And sometimes you don't have anyone to play, and you try to use the first ball with the second ball and try to win when you have players with a lot of power in front. And now we have it. If we win one second ball, we can take all that build up from the game and to have the opportunity to score. I think everyone is doing that. Senna has one ability that is really good. He can play both feet, and that is really, it's harder for the opponents to try to make the pressure from one side or the other. They know that he can kick the ball with both feet, and I think that is really important. But it also needs to be ready, that people are seeing the games, understanding that it takes a little bit time to choose, and he needs to be ready for Premier League. So it's something that you use. If he's man-to-man in front, you are not building up. You can put the ball in 1 against 1 in front, and that is the play.
Hi, Ruben. Bruno's missed 2 of his 3 penalties this season against Brentford and Fulham. Is that something that you talked to him about? Is there any sense at all that you might change your taker, that if you get a penalty at Anfield on Sunday, that someone else might go and take it?
No, if you try to do... I know that is not easy for him, but I think he has 70 penalties, I think, and he misses like 9, 2 with me, so I'm really annoyed with that, but he's really confident. He's training the penalties. He's trying to understand that people are watching the way he scores the penalties. So he will be ready. We have more guys also to score a penalty if he needs.
I mean, have you had cause to talk to him about this? And as you mentioned, that you've signed 3 forwards during the summer. I know Brian missed one against Grimsby, but you have other options there now. Is he still your man, still on taker?
Yes, yes. It's the main taker. He scores a lot of goals. Penalty is passing this moment. We have another options. If we need, we can change. But I'm full confident that Bruno will sort that out.
Okay, that's 2 questions for Rich and then Catherine.
Yeah. Ruben, since you arrived, United haven't won any of their games directly after an international break. Is that just a coincidence, or do these breaks sort of disrupt the rhythm of the team? Particularly, the Sunderland win does feel quite a while ago now.
Yeah, but if you don't need to look a lot to understand that there's a lot of things. We cannot win back to back. We cannot win. So if you look to all these things, we'll find out a million things. So I'm not trying to think like that. The last game against City was against City when we had the national team's break, and we understood that was the lack of aggressivity. That is my main concern, trying to understand why we are not winning that kind of games. So we need to be more aggressive in this game to be ready for the game. So I'm not thinking like we didn't win since I'm here after international break. we can win any game. Depend sometimes from the opponent, but also from us.
I also ask as well, in the international break, Cobby and Josh Xerxes have both been linked to possible moves in January. Do you understand how difficult it is maybe to please players in terms of their minutes when there's a World Cup next summer and you've only got one competition you're in?
That is normal, and I also know that in our club everything is a lot of noise, and you have to have news, and players are not playing, they want to play. Like you said, there's a World Cup, there is agents that listen the players talking all the time, so I understand that, but they are our players and we need everyone to have a good season.
Hi Ruben.
Hi.
Marcus Rashford said during the week that he's been suffering before in an inconsistent environment. We're just wondering, what did you make of those comments, because Keane and Rooney have said this week that he perhaps contributed to that. So has the environment changed, do you think?
Guys, I'm just focused on the future of the club, on the present of the club. That is the most important thing. So I'm focused on my players and what they say, what they do. That is my main focus.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.